Hey everybody, you're here with the Michael Lewis Marketing Suite, and for this tutorial we're going to be going over the basics of editing a property brochure. So we're going to go up to the Property Brochure tab at the top. Within the Brochure tab there's multiple sub-tabs with different design styles. So you have the Red Series, Slate, White, Black, and the new Posh. There, of course, is also the Design My Own. You can start with a blank canvas, add in your own image boxes and text boxes, and create your own layout. Or if you've already created your own design, you can upload it into the Michael Lewis Marketing Suite and take advantage of our printing prices. For this tutorial, we'll go with the red design. As you can see, there's a vertical where it folds from top to bottom, and horizontal where it opens left to right like a book. We'll go ahead with the horizontal. If you need to, if you're working on a smaller computer, you can click the larger preview button right below any of the images and get a closer look of the layout and see where all the images and text is. Find the one you want, select it by clicking on the image itself. From this point, if you were to click Edit Selected Template, it will not let you continue. Some templates, it just lets you know that you're creating the piece one-sided and making sure you're okay with that. With brochures though, you do need to have a front and back, or in this case, an outside and an inside. So we'll click here to select a back template or inside template. We selected a horizontal front, so it only gives us the horizontal back options. So we chose a red front, so we can go ahead and choose a red back, or you can mix and match it with slate or white or any of the other options. We'll stick with red. And again, these are even smaller than the front options, so definitely take advantage of that larger preview. That way you can see you got 5 photos here, website, features, property description, and 3 more photos. If that works, go ahead and select it again by clicking on the image itself. Once you do, you then can click Edit Selected Template, and it'll take you right onto the editing portion. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, and the title of the tutorial shows, this is the basics that we're going to be going over. So when we're not editing the layout, we're not manipulating the way anything looks, we're just editing it as is. So for that, we'll start with the text. Before we get onto that though, I just want to show you one thing. Hide safe zone and hide cut line. That would be these 2 lines right here. The inside red line is the safe zone. You want to keep all text inside of that line, and all parts of photos that you want to show also within that line. The cut line is because any and all marketing materials through the suite are printed on large sheets and then cut into individual pieces. And this is the little margin that we give ourselves. So if you have this here, there's a good chance it'll be fine. But there is a small percentage that will get cut off, and you're only going to see the bottom of all these letters. So don't gamble. Keep everything that you want to be shown inside the safe zone. Of course, you can get rid of those lines, though I do not recommend it. So we'll go ahead and get started with the text. You'll notice that when I click on this text box, these features will change to features and functions for editing text. From here, you can go ahead and either hit the space bar or double click on the text box, and it takes you to the text editor, where you can then change the text to whatever you need it to say. For this, we can go ahead and do Property Brochure Tutorial. And then once you've changed the text to whatever you want, make sure to hit Commit Changes. So now we have our new title. With this new title, we can go ahead and change the font. Go up to Arial. We can change the font size. We could drop it down if we need to, or increase it up to 40. Change the color, so we can go ahead and change it to light red. And then of course bold, which it already was, italic, and underlined. And then you also have the alignments, so left, center, right, and justified. Now these alignments are based off of the text box. So if I do center, it's going to center it from left to right inside the text box. So go ahead and put that back. Everything else is more advanced features. The only other 2 things I'd show you is the letter spacing or character spacing. So if you have this here and you don't want the font that large, you can put it back to the size it was and then just increase the character spacing. And you'll notice that it gets stretched out. So you can fill up an entire area without having too large of a font. The other one would be the line spacing. This is more for text in body paragraphs, like your property description. Again, if you don't want to make the font too absurdly large, you can just increase the line spacing and keep going until it covers as much as you'd like. All right. Other than that, that's basically it as far as text goes. It's fairly simple. Make sure once you're done with any text that you hit apply. It's like a soft save, and then you can move on to doing photos. Now with photos, you'll again notice when I click on a photo, it gives me functions and features for editing photos. So this is fairly simple. Click on the photo that you want to have swapped out. Once you do, click the upload button towards the top left. Once you're here, you can then click browse. Grab the photo that you want to use. We'll go ahead and grab the backyard photo and click choose. It's going to display your image here. And then I always recommend cropping. It gives you an explanation up here of how to do it. You'll notice that when I drag my cursor over the image, it goes from a cursor to a crosshair. That's your cropping tool. So what you'd want to do is go ahead and click on the top left, or any corner really, and drag your mouse down to the opposite corner. Now you'll notice I can't fit the entire photo in. The reason is the shape of this photo does not match the shape of the image box that we're trying to place it into. So when doing so, again, browse, grab that backyard photo. We're going to go ahead and crop. Now if you don't do this, it will distort the photo. So I'll click insert image when you're done, whether cropping or not. And you're not always going to be able to really tell. But since this photo is not the same shape as the image box, it is distorted. Most likely it's being squished vertically. So this house is actually looking a lot shorter than it truly is. So let's see if I can actually give you a visual example of the difference. So if I were to click and crop this, I'm stretching it out as much as possible. When I click insert, you'll see that the bottom of the house dropped down. So this is a true depiction of its dimensions as far as height and length of the house. So like I said, even if you think it's close, sometimes it'll match up perfectly, but just always crop it to be safe so you're not showing a house looking 10 feet smaller than it truly is. Now, again with this, that's basically all it takes. As long as you're keeping the template as is, there's not much more to it other than uploading and cropping. So other than that, it's just a repetitive thing at that point. You're just going to continuously go in and change text with the placeholders. So you'd come in here, click the text box. Like I said, double click or hit the space bar. We'll go ahead and put in the address for this listing, 234 Main Street, and then commit changes. Again, if you want to stretch it out without making the font too large, go to that character spacing and increase it. Obviously too much makes it look a little weird, but you get the point. Other than that, once you have all of the text taken care of, all the photos are uploaded and cropped just the way you want it to look, go ahead and save your work. Here you'll see it says temp because this is a temporary saved work, and it gives you the date and time that you started working on that particular piece. So for this, make sure to always change your saved work name just to keep your saved work a little bit more organized. I recommend if it's a listing, go ahead and save it as the listing address and save your work. Once you've saved your work, you can either come back to it later. If you're ready right after editing to go ahead and order the printing and shipping, all you need to do is click the View Proof and Continue button towards the top right. It's going to go ahead and build your design. And take you to the View Proof page. Now from here you can make sure that your headshot, contact info, property information, and photos are all exactly the way you want it to look. You can of course download the locked PDF proof if you want to get a clear look, because because as you can see here, the text is not very easily legible. So if I click download locked PDF proof, of course I'm not going to be able to print with this PDF. This is just for viewing purposes. Go up to the downloads. Now you can get a much clearer look at the template. The text is very easily legible, all the photos look good, and we're good to go. From this point, you just click Online Proof Approval and Add to Cart. You're going to be asked to put your initials in, hit Continue. At this point, you want to purchase your print materials. You can purchase a PDF here as well, or both. Decide what cardstock you want, whether it's standard, thin, or our thickest version. It gives you how much additional cost it will be for those pieces. UV, so if you want the gloss coating on the front and back, yes or no. And then quantity. It is a minimum of 50. You can change it to whatever you'd like it to be. When you put in the number and click anywhere within this white box, you'll see that the total instantly changes, so you know what your new subtotal is. Once you have all of your options the way you want it, click Add to Cart. It'll then be in your cart. Just verify all the information is correct. If it is, go ahead and continue to checkout, where you'll put in your billing, shipping, and credit card information. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions in regards to editing property brochures or anything else Michael Lewis Marketing Suite related, please feel free to give our customer care number a call at 310-606-2029.